Today's episode is sponsored by Holy Milk. I've got a test package here. Delicious vegan milk that has no seed or vegetable oil, refined sugar, natural flavors, or non-organic stabilizers. This stuff is delicious. Check out the Holy Milk Instagram to find out where you can purchase Holy Milk in New York City. Here we are on beautiful Jones Street.
You saw Ted Jones.
I thought it was
Bird's bees? You ever put that stuff on your eyelids? I was like introduced to that in middle school. Bird's bees on the eyelids. And then, oh yeah, no, I've never snorted alcohol, but that I've heard is an insane thing to do. Or butt chug. Yeah, we're getting right into it. You put alcohol in your butt. Apparently you get way more twisted.
what's happening with all the emojis? Oh, hey.
How do you sound?
Ooh.
You sound good?
It's like ASMR.
All the emojis?
Yeah.
It's just like positive reinforcement. You know, that water, by the way, is clean water. Nothing in there. It's from the tap.
I'm like scared all of a sudden.
What's up, Rebecca? Good to see you. Thanks for coming on the pod.
Good to be here.
You had a busy day today or what?
I did. I had a busy day. I was scrolling on my phone.
Yeah.
It was so busy.
It's insane how it'll take up a lot of time doing that.
It's really important.
But people who are a little bit younger than us, by the way, when I called you mature the other night, I think we should get that.
That was the meanest
we
thing.
should get this right out of the
I can't, because
right
you know what?
gate.
No, it's so rude.
Yeah.
I cannot with people saying that shit to me. It's it's like, first of all, everyone thinks I look like I'm 25.
Yeah, that's a good thing,
That's
right?
a good thing. And then I'm like, I'm 28, you know, and everyone's like, ooh, whoa, that's way older than I thought.
I didn't mean,
I
think it was just like a knee-jerk reaction when I was like, oh, you're a very mature person.
It was a jerk reaction, you're right.
You got me there. But you, I think, took it the wrong way. I meant like you're a mature person you can have a conversation with. I didn't mean it in like an age way, even though it sounded like it.
Right after you were like, do you want to finish my French fries too, you piggly wiggly? So I feel like
but that was part of the joke. Because then you started talking about my gray hairs, and then like
you flipped me off. It was crazy. You were like, I don't want you around, and I was like, why am I being invited to this podcast?
But now I think we're off to the walk, off to the races,
off to the walk.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Okay,
because we're old.
I want to. Yeah, that's true. I want to talk about your high school reunion though, the other day, because I saw you a few days before, or actually right before you left.
Do you write questions before you do this?
In my head, yeah.
In your head,
yeah. Well, but I wanted to know about this specifically because I haven't been to a high school reunion. Sure,
I have ADHD. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're good, girl. Come on. Obviously, I do too.
You do.
Do you take Concerta, like Adderall, when you were growing up?
No. So I like never got tested for it because where I'm from, in Scarsdale, a lot of the like kids their parents would have them diagnosed with ADD like right before the SATs.
Oh yeah, get that extra time.
So convenient. I
was diagnosed many years before the SATs. I still got extra time. But
I got diagnosed late. Like I got diagnosed when I was 25, 26, like
wow.
in my 20s. Yeah.
So you were trying to take...
No, I was just like, well, there's no point now. Like, there's no extra time at work.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it's just,
well, how did you find that out though? You saw...
I went to therapy. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, I can't, you know... I feel like I'm always doing something wrong, but I never really know why. And then we just went through, she just asked me a bunch of questions on like the DSM thing or whatever. And then I went to a specialist, which was such a scam, by the way. That shit is
I did that entire thing
so
when I was
expensive.
Younger.
I was like, why am I here?
I was at the NYU Langone Medical Center like once a week for
covered by insurance
at least like 6 weeks. Yeah. I think part of it was, but
Mine
there was definitely
out of pocket.
There was definitely extra sessions though that I went to.
Because you have to
doing
go
puzzles
meet with
and
them.
shit.
Yeah. Because you have to meet with them to get the medication, like to get the prescription.
It's a long laundry list of things that you have to do.
And it was like, it's like $400. I went to one session. And he diagnosed me right away. He was like, you have top level anxiety, top level ADHD. And I was like, now what? And he was like, here's multiple medications you can take. And he was like, here's all the side effects. And I was like, I think that I'm going to be miserable.
Isn't that interesting
that
that's one of the only drugs where it requires so much testing?
I know.
You know, like everything else you could just like
it's cocaine.
One like sketchy doctor and like that's it. You get Oxycontin
cocaine.
and stuff. Yeah.
I did cocaine and it was better. It was more effective then.
Yeah. I'd say like from lines like 2 to like 36 are terrible. The first line is good though. Usually, I'm not a cocaine guy. You guys know what I mean. I'm a big coffee guy. You a coffee person though?
Love coffee.
Yeah, iced or what?
So okay.
Oh, you switched?
No, I always do hot coffee.
Oh, like
even
no
in the
matter?
summer. Yeah,
People
I know
do
that's
that.
like crazy.
Yeah,
but I like blast my air conditioning, so it doesn't like matter.
I'd say for the most part, probably like iced coffee all year round, but I do enjoy like a hot cup.
It's so
warming up
soothing in
my
the morning.
hand. Yeah.
I also like the winter, so it makes me like cozy
That's
feels,
nice.
But yeah, I don't know. Iced coffee, because I feel like with iced coffee, you have to wait for the coffee to get cold enough to make it yourself. And I don't want to go spend like $6 on iced coffee.
Yeah,
But I do
understandable.
sometimes give myself a slutty little treat.
What's
I'll go
that?
get
Like a pumpkin spice?
Like an iced pumpkin spice.
Ooh,
And I'll be like,
okay,
I'm
you're into that
bad.
pumpkin.
I'm like, I'm a bad girl.
All right. Well,
know?
it's in season though, so it's cool.
I don't think it is anymore. I think I missed
Oh,
it
is it
again.
not?
Yeah.
How long is the pumpkin
I think
spice
it's like
season?
a month,
If
but
that.
I know. And last year I missed it too. And this year it's like they just like erase it away. You know?
Super
it's
interesting.
Like a politician sending a nude. All of a sudden it just ceases to exist
Nice.
anymore.
It looks good for a second,
Yeah, it's
tastes
just like,
delicious, and then you
can't
forget
find it
about
anymore. Or their kid like shooting someone by accident. They're like, this didn't happen. Like it's like that. It's like
Yeah.
it never happened. You know.
Let's get back to your high school reunion since we didn't touch on it.
Speaking of, no, it was
of shooting
so
people.
fun. Okay,
Oh,
I'm
yeah?
glad I went.
Love
Yeah,
that.
I'm glad I went. I went only for an hour because I had shows.
Yeah,
before.
you had shit to do.
I had shit to do, but
It
I
was
went.
Midtown, right?
What?
It was in Midtown. You
Yeah,
were
it was
saying.
like 33rd.
Okay.
And I went
Kips
to
Bay-ish.
Kips Bay. It was in what hotel? I want to say it was in like a Hyatt. Was that the Ainsworth? Do you know it?
That's a big like drinking, and they have shows there too, right? Or they have in the past.
I think that's
I've
the
heard of it.
downtown one.
Oh, okay.
Because this one was the Midtown one. I've been to this Midtown one before. I walked in and I had like a blackout reemergence. I was like, I've definitely been here before, but I don't.
Blacked out here before.
Yeah. I was like, I don't remember why or who, but I recognized like the leaves on the design, like the interior design. I was like, I touched it. I was like, yeah, that's the one.
How many kids were in your graduating class?
That's a good question. I want to say it was like 350.
Oh wow! And
went to
what
public school.
And what percentage do you think was there?
I mean, was there. I thought you were going to say
Yeah.
graduated.
I'd say like all of them, because
Like, pretty
despite it
much.
being a public school, that's like one of the best public schools in the country.
Yeah. It's a good public school. Yeah, I think our graduating rate's like 97%, 98%, something like
sure.
that. But and the other 2% are just like shot in the back, because I get C's. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many people were there? I would say 50. Not a lot.
That's it?
Yeah, maybe 75.
I
maybe.
would think though by like the year 25 reunion, that's how few people you might
Right,
see. Not
right.
like I won't say what year it was.
I think
but
people's egos. I got the sense it was ego
totally.
because even I was like, I don't
Yeah,
want
I'm
to
not
see.
going to this. I have shows before
like I have
this
shows,
and
and I was
after.
like, I don't want to face people who were mean to me when I was 16.
Yeah.
Even
How did
I
you
got
feel like
that.
you looked during the occasion though?
I,
Like,
I was the best looking one there.
Let's
Absolutely.
go!
I know.
That's like when my
That's
dad went to his college reunion. He was like, "Everybody looks so old." I was like, "Good for you,
I
Dad."
know.
for recognizing
Everyone
that.
was like getting fat. Like I saw a girl with a bad nose job, and I was like, it looks worse now. It looked bad before. I'm like, maybe you're just ugly.
"Oh, she just like didn't grow into it
Sometimes
well."
money can't make you pretty.
Yeah, that's interesting. But I will say that for a girl to transform her face, it seems like that's the go-to move.
Yeah,
and,
like
and it makes
Botox,
sense to do
filler,
that.
all that stuff.
No, but I think the nose job is probably the most impactful,
I do
right?
know some girls who have they had like the bump, like a really bad nose, and all they did was just shave it down, and it looks great.
Okay.
These are the girls who their nose is like fine, so it makes it more complicated to make it look good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Like where it's too small for your face, or like it's squished down now. And
I feel like when it's really a big type of nose, that's when you can make it
it's
smaller and make it
easier
look nice.
you just you shave it down.
But it was a good experience going to this high school reunion.
Yes.
That's cool. Do you see any guys that like you had crushes on?
Oh
and, like,
my God. I was,
how'd they look?
yes. Oh my God. They're so cute. I was
Still?
like, you're so cute. Yeah. Well, cause the one okay.
Tyler?
So I get there. No, I can't say his name. Cause
He'll know. He'll know
no,
it's his
it's
name.
also like a very distinct name.
Yeah,
There's
like
not like
Chad.
multiple. No, that's too generic.
Jamal.
Stop
Was he white?
guessing. Is he white? Yeah, he is white. So he apparently, I like said to somebody, I was like, oh my God, like he's here. I was like, I had the biggest crush on him in high school. And my friend goes, everyone had the biggest crush on him in high school.
shit.
And I was like, there's competition. He's fully married. But we're like, it's okay. We're in high school. Like,
Do spouses go to those reunions?
some did. His didn't.
Oh, okay. You're narrowing it down a little bit. I wasn't going to ask.
I'm like, you guys don't have kids yet? Okay. No, just
yeah,
kidding.
there's still a chance. He wasn't wearing his wedding ring.
He was very much so. And I was like, it's hurting
yeah.
my eyes. Can you maybe?
Oh, he had a diamond wedding ring? That's gay. So maybe everyone did have a crush on them because they didn't know if he was gay or straight.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. No, I mean, she's so pretty. Like, I'm happy they're happy, but it is funny.
Wait,
to
how
have,
old is she though?
I think she's the same age. I think they went to college. I think it was like a college situation.
Okay.
He's going to know I'm talking about him. But we get there and I hung out with him and then I convinced him to buy me a drink. And then I went up to my friend and I was like, yeah, but did he buy you a drink? It was just so silly.
Why wasn't it an open bar? You went to a good enough public high school.
It's because, I guess people just didn't want to pay. I get it. I went for like an hour tops.
Yeah.
So like if I'm going to pay almost $100 for an open bar, I really only paid... Like I paid for $20 like for one drink, which is so expensive, but that doesn't make up for the $80 that we would have paid. You know? So that just I'm glad I didn't spend that money.
Yeah, I would think though when a high school has a big reunion like that, what's the incentive? What are they covering? What do they pay for? Just to like be in this Ainsworth for 3 hours?
That's true. Is there like there's funding, right?
I would think so.
I
especially
believe
going
there
to
is.
school like that. Yeah.
Well, I think in general they have like reunions are funded by the school and so it goes into some sort of thing. I don't know, honestly. I don't know. Maybe that's when the school starts because this was organized by our high school president.
Okay.
Like a student president.
Where did you go? Or just quickly, I went to middle school in the city and they did their holiday party at the Stand. And coincidentally, it was when I had the Ted Jones comedy show at the Stand. And I see all my teachers. They came downstairs to watch my set. It was nuts. This was like a year and a half ago. I was bugging out. Yeah, I did well, but I had to cut some things out of my set. Do you see yourself going each 5 years now or what? Like, did you make new friends? What was the benefit of going?
I think, I've just lost touch with so many people in high school that it was actually nice to see some of them again and be like, oh my God, like, I never normally see you. You're so fun.
Yeah.
This one girl invited me to her brunch next weekend.
Are you going to go?
Yeah, of course. It was so cute. I was like, I would love to go. So will I go to, I'll probably go because I'll be like so famous.
Where'd you go to college?
Trinity College.
In Connecticut.
Yeah.
Well, I went to UConn.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Have we had this conversation?
I think we have. I just didn't remember that you went to Trinity.
I probably responded with ew.
Yeah.
That sounds like me.
Well, Trinity is a small school in Hartford, right?
Yes.
And then UConn is just like in the middle of nowhere, east.
They have a good...
Yeah, east. UConn basketball?
Yes.
Everything. But Trinity has a good squash team.
Yes.
Yeah, that's insane.
I was one of the best players on the team.
No. You're capping.
No. I was like a really competitive squash player at Trinity.
Actually?
Yeah.
But they won the national championship like 11 years in a row or something.
Are you saying I couldn't win the national
I don't know. I'm
championship?
just saying that's very impressive that like I didn't know about your squash career.
I know. I might be Jewish, but I'm very waspy.
Wait, stop. For real? Did you think about going pro or anything?
No.
Does that exist?
No, technically, but...
Wait, why would you not think about that though if you went to a school like that?
Because that's not a good... I don't know. There's a shelf life to that.
Really? Like even if you're athletics. At the top level?
Of course. I mean, I could go on to become, a coach or something like that. But
do you have any videos of you playing squash that we could pop up right here?
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right, pop it up right here.
I don't have my phone
Rebecca
with me.
banging squash. Well, we'll do it afterwards. Okay. Post. Banging squash balls. It's a pretty intimidating looking sport.
The glasses are really embarrassing.
What glasses?
You have to wear the glasses.
yeah, I bet. I play tennis, so
I'm completely fucking
similar.
With you. I thought I was getting way earlier, and then I was like, how long can I pretend that this is real? And I went as long as until you changed the subject. And I was like, I could have gone longer. I could have gone this entire hour pretending I played squash.
Because the questions I was asking you,
you don't know anything about squash.
You were offended that I didn't believe you.
I know.
That's why I had to believe you.
That was all ego.
I was like, they want to, and you were like, yeah, I can't go pro in squash.
My ego went, let's make him believe I played squash.
Yeah, you won that round.
Oh, I'm crying. I'm so funny.
Do you ever go to a squash match?
I'm just gonna lie
Let's
for
talk
this
about that.
Podcast.
Yeah, literally, that's how it started. Like we have to cut out so many parts of that. But wait, did you ever go?
Yeah, I went to like 2, but they were so crowded. I mean, because they're so famous. It was so crowded, and it's really small. Like it's not like you go to a Syracuse basketball game. It's not like that where it's a massive stadium. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like in our gymnasium.
How many people did it seat?
I don't know. I would say 1,000 maybe.
Oh, okay.
It was pretty small though, but people come visit, people's parents, they fly in from like Istanbul, like legit India, like these really talented people just come from all over the world to come play squash at Trinity College.
Did you play sports in high school?
I played sports in high school, yeah.
What sport were you best
Field
at?
hockey and lacrosse.
Okay, UConn had a really good field hockey team. They won the national championship when I was there.
In Scarsdale?
No, at UConn. They won the field hockey national championship.
You said high school.
No, I know, but I'm saying that we had a good field hockey team at UConn.
You're talking about yourself right now.
I suppose.
You just flipped this back to you.
No.
Team?
But you said field hockey, and I said, I said
you never played.
I think I said UConn had a really good team.
This is about you.
Didn't I?
Did you want to talk about it?
About UConn having a good team.
Yeah.
That's funny. A girl on the team thought I was gay. She was like,
There it is.
I didn't have you. I only because I thought you were gay.
Wait.
Isn't that insane to say that? I think she was joking when she said that, but like,
I don't think she.
That was fucking insane. I literally completely forgot about that.
Also,
but anyway, yes, field hockey.
Wait,
I think she was fucking joking. She has a lot of kids.
Now we have to cut it out.
Well, whatever. I'll pop her up right here. She deserves the guilt.
That is such a funny line to be like, I thought you were gay. So if I think a guy is gay, I'm not getting it. Like, I'm like, okay, we're obviously not like.
I don't know. Maybe she was joking, but I don't think so. Okay, your field hockey career.
Okay.
In high school.
My career in high school.
Yeah.
My glory days.
Do you think about playing college field hockey?
I thought about it. And then I was just like, I want to not do that.
Were there other schools that you wanted to go to besides Trinity?
Yeah, I wanted to go to, actually was going to sail at Hobart in William Smith.
Ooh.
That was
upstate New York, right?
Yes, very far. My dad went there actually. Really liked it. I really liked it. It was too far, and sailing there, I to this day still feel really guilty about not going there. Not because I didn't love going to Trinity, obviously, but just they wanted me to go there. It was so nice.
Yeah.
I was like, this feels great. They were emailing me all the time. They're like, are you going to early decision? Like, we'd love to have you come out for our sailing team. Then they told me they connected me with someone on the sailing team. They really wanted me, and they wanted to invest in me. But both my sisters went to Trinity, so I was like, I kind of have to go to Trinity.
But they didn't play sports?
No. My sister, oh my God, my sister Sarah was on the rowing team.
Oh, okay, that's intense.
She had the broadest shoulders for 2 years. We were like, okay, what is going on?
Was she just on those machines the entire time, or she was in the water too?
She'd wake up at 4 a.m.
Yeah, I don't know why those rowing girls wake up so freaking early to do that.
She never rowed.
And then all of a sudden she got a scholarship.
No, that would be so funny. She just my sister Sarah, she's such an oldest child. Like, she was on the
How much
gymnastics
older is she
team.
than you?
5 years, 5.5. She was on the gymnastics team in high school, cheerleading team in high school, lacrosse team in high school. She was the best sailor out of all of us. She was on the rowing team in college. It was just she just was always on these weird teams, these random teams. And I never did gymnastics, cheerleading. The only thing we all did was lacrosse and sailing. That's what we all did.
Did you have a good amount of athletes at your high school or no?
Yeah, we had a very athletic high school. Our women's teams were substantially better than the men's teams. It was weird.
Yeah.
They just could not get their shit together. It was pathetic.
Did you spend a lot of time in the city, going to the city
Yes.
for day trips and stuff?
My sisters would sneak into the city. When they're 15 years old. Because they would go sleep over at the bad friend's house.
Oh, yeah.
And then the bad friend's parents were always drinking or never home or something, weird, home life. And my mom, I guess, maybe they lied about where, I don't even know. My middle sister was so bad. She would always go into the city. She threw so many house parties at our house. I was the good child.
She's older than you? Middle sister?
Yeah, she's older than me. I'm the youngest. So I never went in at night. I went a couple times in college at night for New Year's Eve. You got to do $300
You went to Times Square?
No. But I did go to
the Olive
the
Garden
Kips
above
Bay.
it.
Yeah, pretty much. The Kips Bay places. Where did we even go? I think it was Due West was one we went to. The one on 39th. It was 39th Street or something.
They have, I think, 2, right?
There was 2.
Yeah.
I think they closed one down actually.
I don't know.
I don't really know either, but I know that was a place we went to. Paid so much money for a ticket to go to a shitty fucking bar.
I used to be a promoter, so I would sell
No, you
New
were not.
Year's Eve and Halloween and
No,
all
you
the
were
Thanksgiving
not.
Eve. Yeah.
Of course
for
you were.
6 years.
Don't
Why
you
does
do real
everyone
estate now?
fucking say that?
You're a sociopath. You're too charismatic.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
It's okay, why?
Yeah.
What are you hiding on the inside?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Stop looking at me in the eyes.
Truth is nothing. No, but I was a promoter for multiple summers. You actually have a taser?
Of course. No, those are illegal.
You just looked at the camera like you were going to lie or something. You probably have pepper spray.
Those are also illegal in New York.
It's illegal to have pepper spray? Even in as a woman carrying it?
Yeah.
Other states, you can carry it around.
Yeah, like in New Jersey.
Ah, interesting. I didn't know that.
I don't have it, but if I did have it, I would pull it out.
Yeah. Okay, your family life growing up.
Yes.
How was it?
It was great. Oh, this is deep.
Yeah, we're going to get deep now. Enough with the jokes.
You know, I have no memories before 15 years old, so I don't know. No, I'm kidding. Imagine.
You're just doing a bunch of whippets?
So traumatic. No, it was like, I just had such bad traumas, apparently. So dark. Oh, my God. No, I had a really good, I'm very close with my sisters, love my parents. I don't know why I do comedy either.
What was that disconnect? Like, what brought you into the comedy realm?
Perhaps being a younger child. No one listens to me. No one. Oh, my God. Nobody fucking listens to me. Not even just my family in general. I tell people all the time, I always know I'm right. I'm always right. No one listens to me. I end up being right, and I'm like pissed that I'm right.
About what things?
Everything. Mostly my reads on people. Mostly my reads on people.
I don't think you've read me correctly.
Oh, you thought I was kind of absolutely have you read correctly.
No.
Sometimes I look at you and I'm like, Ted is going to murder me tonight.
No, I don't think so.
You're like, maybe tomorrow
night.
Yeah,
I was going to say, you're going to survive tonight.
See?
What were you doing before you got into comedy? Switch the conversation real quick.
What was I doing before comedy?
Yeah.
I worked at CBS News.
And did the on-air
I was
things
not on air.
But like the people who were working on air, did that make you think that like, oh, I enjoy what they're doing presenting wise, so I want to get into comedy? How'd you get into it?
I always wanted to do comedy. Like in high school, I got voted in my yearbook like most likely to be on SNL.
Okay.
Because I like violently pressured people to vote for me. Yeah. It was like a competition between. Apparently, this other girl was like, what's it called when you in politics when you're trying to push votes, like trying to convince people to vote for you.
Filibustering or one of those?
That's not it.
Something like that. Oh, gerrymandering?
Perhaps, but that's only if you're actually a politician. It was like to become the politician. I was like, she was like blackmailing people to vote for her. Whereas I was like,
what was she saying?
I don't know. She was just like Rebecca's a bitch. She doesn't even like you. Like telling people that I don't. Like,
was it true?
Yeah, of course. But like, I hate everybody. But like, I heard about, I didn't even know this was happening. And I was like, why does this girl hate me? I thought we were friends. Like, I was like, why does this girl hate me so much? Obviously I won and I'm better for it.
When you went back to the reunion where people were like, oh, class prez is in the mix.
I wasn't the president.
What were you?
I wasn't anything.
So what did you win?
It was a superlative in the yearbook.
Ah.
Yeah.
You weren't like valedictorian. What did the valedictorian at your school do?
I have no fucking idea who the valedictorian of my school was.
Oh, you guys didn't have that?
No, we definitely had it, but I have no idea.
Really?
Yeah. Although my school, Scarsdale especially, everyone there had a 4.0 GPA and a 2400 SAT and 32 ACT. Every single person. So it was, I have no idea. I imagine they probably picked somebody with like a lot of adversity, probably.
Do you think it made it harder to get into college when everybody else around you had such good grades?
Not for me, because Trinity was like my target school, so it made sense. But I remember, oh my God, Scarsdale can be really competitive. But I just remember during the early decision time when everyone was, killing themselves to get into Harvard or Yale or Princeton, like all these great schools. UPenn was a really dramatic one because if you were not, everyone knew if you were not a legacy at UPenn, you were not getting into UPenn. Everybody knew that. So we all knew who was getting into UPenn before they even, and no one ever told anyone where they applied. That was my favorite part. No one ever told anybody anything.
Like it was a secret between the guidance counselor and the student?
Always a secret. I don't even know if the guidance counselors knew because like the kids were like, I don't trust them either. It's such a competitive school. And so these kids, we knew who was going to UPenn based on whose parents went to UPenn because it just makes the most sense. Like, and that's the only way you get in. And there was always those couple of kids who were like, I'm going to be the standout application for UPenn where they'll break their legacy thing. I'm like, these parents have been donating hundreds of thousands of dollars since their kids were 6 years old. You are not getting into UPenn.
I wonder if that's going to start to change more so now that the generation like about to graduate high school is realizing that you could really grow your career at a faster rate if you just look at shit on YouTube or don't go to school for 4 years and learn things that you don't need to learn.
I don't know. I really don't know, because I think there's a lot to be said about being in a classroom with people who disagree with you, and being able to kind of formulate your own opinions based on that. I think the bigger problem is kind of what we're teaching kids and how we're teaching them, and letting kids almost have an authority over their teachers, it seems like. I know, I don't think we had that problem when I was in school, but I mean, again, the parents had authority, of course. I think there's just money is power kind of thing. So it depends on where we're talking about. Are we talking about private schools, public schools, boarding schools? Like, it just kind of depends. Universities, private colleges.
Was there anything weird that you saw from parents went to your middle school or high school?
With teachers?
Yeah.
No.
Like interactions.
Looking back now, I mean, nepotism is obviously a huge part of where I grew up. I'm sure you could probably say the same too. You grew up in the city, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. I mean, it's just the nature of these prestigious locations and schools and parents. And on the one hand, it's, you know, quote unquote problematic, obviously, because then we see people gain power by not trying hard to gain power. But on the other hand, it's kind of, you know, if they're, depending on the person that's getting the career that they're getting because of their parents, if they're good people and they want to continue a good career that's similar, or they want to change something in a really admirable way, I think that's different. I think people just have a problem with the arrogance and entitlement of the kids that are just like, oh my God, I worked so hard, and that's why I have a 2-story doorman building in the West Village.
Yeah.
And like, ugh, it's so expensive.
And
I'm like,
when you're in it as like I used to work in my dad's company, like when you're in it, you don't kind of realize that all this responsibility was bestowed on you because you came out of your dad's nuts or something, you know, like when I was working in my dad's
colleagues
company,
probably
like,
resent you.
Yeah. It was just, I maybe I didn't really realize it fully until I was a few years in, but I was just like kind of like a 25-year-old kid telling supers what to do with the trash and to do this in the office. So it's just like, while I was being told
like
what to do.
That's like creates a villain in every comedy movie, you know? Like they're always like, their 25-year-old boss is firing them when they're 50. That's like their villain origin story in it. That's literally you.
Yeah. Well, I would like to think. But it's just like when I was getting orders to tell somebody what to do, it's just kind of like, well, I'm just the messenger. Sometimes. But I think ultimately it made me kind of just realize that there's so many people in the world who have to work so hard to get to a place that like somebody who just graduated from college, or maybe not even graduated from college, is now in that position.
Yeah, but I guess the same could also, I mean, I think when we criticize these terminologies and in these types of people, it's just going to extend into other things too. For example, like nepotism is an issue, but then we'll look at, people who have connections, that's a form of nepotism. And it's like, where does it stop? Then I think we're going to just get to a place, though, where people are going to start saying, oh, she only got this because she's well connected. We do say this. People do say that they only got this because they're well connected. And it's like, there's a reason that saying is, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
It's true. But also when it comes to our industry, specifically with comedy, I think the talent tells you who knew people and who worked hard. Like there's a saying, luck is when hard work and opportunity meet. So that's, I think, the goal for most of us. But I think that's also when you can tell if someone's so bad at comedy, but they're famous somehow. If
a billionaire's son takes over a company and makes sales go from 500 million to 2 billion, all right, well, there's something to be said for the person who took over the company. But it takes a long time for the outside people to realize that, oh yeah, this person's actually putting in that work.
There's a predisposed judgment to it. You know, it's like it was handed to them. Someone else could have done it. It's like, sure, but this is just the life that they were given.
Yeah.
At least they're doing a good thing with it. So that's what I'm saying is I think this whole nepotism thing is there's the Kendall Jenners where you're just like, oh God, cut me a break. And then there's people who could do something like that. And you're just like, this is a really impressive person who took advantage of the connections to really build this business into an empire, you know? But it's not, even though it's technically nepotism, I'm like, they're actually really learning all about the companies, like everything they could do. They're traveling, they're interviewing. So I do think, I don't know, it's so complicated. It's like for someone like that, I mean, you're not putting this in anyways, but for people who are just too lucky and are then.
Yeah, it doesn't benefit you at all.
Yeah.
And I think
do something else,
it makes you soft.
It does. And you don't grow. You don't become legendary in that way because you don't know how to struggle. You don't know how to overcome adversity. You don't know how to have someone say no to you. Like you don't know rejection. And it's frustrating on the one hand, but on the other hand, it's like you almost feel bad for them because they don't really experience life in all of its misery and happiness.
It's very hard to have something handed to you on a platter and not just be like, all right, I'll take it, instead of like having something handed to you on a platter like, nah, I'm gonna make my own way.
Disconnected. They're very disconnected, and being disconnected sucks. I like being connected to the world. I try my best. I'm the best. Speaking
of being connected, how do you feel about the trajectory of TikTok and Instagram on the younger generation? Get deep at that too.
I think they're a disaster. A complete and total disaster. But also follow me on Instagram at Rebecca. But like,
you have younger cousins that are always on the phone or always on the iPad at the dinner table?
I'm the youngest. So
and your cousins too?
Yeah, I'm the youngest.
Okay.
And no, my parents really were very strict about being present and being with us. Like we never. I
think it was a little bit easier though than those kids were in their teens now.
I was gonna say I don't know if this is a good comparison because I'm 28. So of course I was alive before all of this, and like I only got a phone. When did I get a phone? Got my first cell phone when I was in 8th grade.
And I'm sure it was like just a text or call your parents.
Yeah, it was like and I had like a Panda case around it or something.
Nice.
And then I got my first iPhone, I think at the end of high school. And I was like really excited about it. But now, how do I think about TikTok and Instagram? This is where people get their information. It's terrifying to me. I'm so unbelievably concerned about the spread of misinformation in the future, especially with Twitter. I mean, it is, and like, let's not even get into, I really can't. Yeah. But I really, really worry about the future generation in terms of how they get their information, because they'll say things like, I read this thing, and I'm like, you saw it on a TikTok from someone that you don't even know. Who is this person? Oh, they're a freelance journalist. I'm like, but where have their works ever been where published? Where? Wall Street Journal? Anywhere?
And people will take that information for now. Other people believe fact. You because you saw that.
It's fact. Yeah, exactly. And it terrifies me to my core, I think. But on the other hand, I also think it could be a really big powerhouse in terms of confronting misinformation, right? Like this.
It's difficult to see the line. You know, if you go on a website and you try and find out what's the best way to cure this particular type of cancer, you'll see maybe in documentaries that same group is
causing the cancer.
Yeah, sure.
This is what you're referencing. It's because it's not. This is very. And I mean, actually, maybe bleep that out.
I will,
just because I still work at a news.
I got you.
Yeah, so I can't. But yeah, I mean, this is very common, and I think this is actually a lot of why I went into journalism. I'm very fascinated by how much is hidden from us. Like I hate it. I hate not knowing. I hate that people don't. What
do you think the industry most hides from? Like, what industry hides the most? Would you say? Is it like food, or is it media corporations? What do you think? Like skin products?
Well, they're all tied. Because some skin products are owned by a pharmaceutical company.
Yeah, it's wild, and you need to go like shell to shell of LLCs to find out.
And it is and I remember when I was at CBS, I called this investigative journalist. He was a producer, not in front of the camera. Because in front of the camera, people obviously do a lot of work, but behind the scenes people, they really kill themselves to get to the facts, as of course, just to be clear, on-air journalists do too. But I remember calling him. He was really impressive. And I remember calling him to say, I really want to get into investigative journalism. And at one point he was like, okay, be careful though, because I've met a lot of people who go down these wacky, loony rabbit holes and they cannot get back out. And I'm like, I get it.
You mean that they won't stop investigating that particular story?
They go down conspiracy theories and they try to prove them right, and like
I think a good example of that ended correctly was this guy who was investigating Madoff for years.
So this is another example where people are like, "You're crazy. That's a conspiracy theory," and then they end up being right, which encourages other people with conspiracy theories to think that their conspiracy theory is right, and then it makes you wonder, is this right? Like vaccines are the biggest one right now because we all had to get it. And then people are like, but the needles never went into the politicians. And I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised. Because it's just, you never know. Even this one's so random, but the magic bullet theory with JFK.
Magic bullet?
Do you not know about this?
Magic bullet.
It's okay. It was that the bullet.
This is a conspiracy, by the way.
This is a conspiracy theory. This is not a fact. But it means, I'm just kidding.
To zoom in on me when you just did that.
But it means that the magic bullet theory, from my understanding, and I have a lot of loose research on it. It's the theory that it was one bullet and that it just magically hit his security guard. I think it was his security, somebody else in the car with him also got shot. And the theory was that it hit JFK and somehow magically went through his skull to the other person. And that's how that other person got shot. And they found the bullet. So they thought that was the bullet. But now there's this guy who was there that day. It was like the security guard. He has a book coming out. So that's also the caveat to it. Is like, oh, he's just trying to sell. He might just be trying to sell a book. Mm-hmm. But there's a theory that there was another assassin and that they're keeping him with the CIA because he has information.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you really think about it, the magic bullet theory is just so impossible scientifically, but technically everything is impossible until it becomes possible.
Yeah. Well, they have a lot of conspiracies also specifically
with JFK,
about that. And then another American kept conspiracy, or there are many, but we didn't go to the moon, which I feel like is such a weird one.
This one weirds me out too much. I'm just like, I don't know. Like,
yeah, like why wouldn't we have gone to the moon? Like,
yeah,
you can see it.
And also just like we have our advancements in the universe are just like too profound for me to believe that we never went to the moon. Mm-hmm. I mean, didn't Russia go to the moon too? They went after us.
Yeah, I think that was.
Did they make it up too? Well, actually, probably Sputnik. Thank you. I was like, what's it called again? Yeah, I mean, that's. I don't know if I can get on board with that one. The Bush did 9/11 thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
I don't know if I can get on board with these ones because I mean, are they all possible? Of course. Again, we will never know. But sometimes I'm like, I don't think we should know. Like, I do not. There's somewhere I'm like, I don't want to know. How
what do you think about UFOs?
Of course they're real. Of course they're real.
So you want to know that, though?
I want to know right now. That keeps me up at night. Genuinely. I struggle watching any space movies or alien movies and stuff, not because they scare me, but because I'm like, how do we not know? How do we still not know? How have we still not seen anything? There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. And I'm like, of course we've seen it. They just don't tell us. We would literally lose our shit.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
I'd be pretty freaking concerned.
Have you, not even that, like people would just go, people are already putting their tinfoil hats on in general. They're already hiding under their beds, like they're already being so wacky that if we then are like, oh, and by the way, there are aliens and plot twists, they're here right now.
Oh my God, certain people
start stabbing people.
Yeah.
I mean, they already do, and like no one's even doing it. You know what I mean?
No one's even an alien as far as we know.
As far as we know, unless they're stabbing the aliens, and we're like, oh, they're crazy homeless people, but really they're like really smart scientists.
Yeah, I've thought about that before. Aliens being among us, people that like you pass by on the street. Like that you're never going to interact with anyway. There's thousands of people like that on the day. Maybe they're just filling the void.
There's no way that they're not. Although sometimes I get down the rabbit holes with that. And I can't, oh my God, I need to turn my phone off. I feel like I've been down rabbit holes a little too much lately.
Let's hear a little bit about them.
This one is, people are like, the glitch in the Matrix. This is the thing that people like right now. Like they're like, watch, this woman just disappears. And
I think I saw that TikTok.
Yeah.
Is that the one when she was walking on the street over there? Or there was one where she like stopped, like glitched and then just kept moving.
Something like that.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, those are too much, but sometimes I'm like, oh my God, is it possible? And I'm like, I need to stop. Because then I'm like, are you real?
You ever take psychedelics?
No, for that reason. I'm like, I don't want to.
Oh,
I would have a mental break.
Okay.
I think I would have. I've taken mushrooms a couple of times, but I've never taken enough to trip.
Like chocolate or actual
I took
mushrooms?
actual mushrooms, and I've taken mushrooms for 3 times, but like specifically microdosed. First 3 times did not like it.
And you tried it a 4th?
The 4th one I took a little bit of chocolates.
Okay.
At my friend's wedding, and I had the best night. It was so fun. I just like, I felt like cocaine a little bit. Like I just was like energized, dancing, having so much fun, smiling. Not much was making me mad. I was just like in a good mood. The first 2 or 3 times that I took it, I just felt like very agitated and like upset. I think I cried actually.
But I think that's normal if you have like a little bit too much.
No, that's no. That's what I'm saying though. It wasn't a trip. It was just like, all it did was just like
make you emotional.
Yeah, and not in like a trippy way. And like I feel this way when I have too much pasta. Also, like I just, you know what I mean? Like
too many carbs.
Or like when I watched someone from the military seeing their dog for the first time, like it was that same.
Yeah, those
like,
are cute, like the big golden retriever.
Yeah, where you're like choking on I was like, why am I crying?
Rebecca, this has been a great episode.
Thanks, Ted.
Thank you so much for coming on for real. Before we get out of here, let us know where we can find you in the upcoming weeks. This will be up this Thursday, so in 2 days. If you have anything this weekend,
I have this
or your next Are You Mad at Me comedy show,
Yes,
let
come
us
to
know,
my
please.
next Are You Mad at Me comedy show, December 14th, 8:30 p.m. at St. Mark's Comedy Club, and you can follow me on Instagram at Rebecca Reingold.
Love it. Rebecca, thanks so much for coming on. Guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Ted.